today we're planning on building up our raised beds, and we're also going to be building another one. So we're going to share with you how we're going to do that. We're going to build them up about 6 inches. So if you like to see how that I do that, just keep watching. Okay, so the materials we're going to be using for building this up will be these fence pickets, the kind you get from like Lowe's or Home Depot. We found that they were cheaper at, well, I think they're the same price at both places. We have down here a little jig set up to hold it in place. We're using the miter saw to cut with, and we have it all set up where it won't move. And I'm not going to give you the measurements because our measurements may not work for your measurements. It's just according to what you would want, what size you want. Chad's loud. It's according to what size you would want your bed to be. So I'm not going to worry about giving you measurements. I'm just going to kind of show you what we're doing, because this is not a tutorial anyway. I'm just sharing how we're getting ready for our gardening season. Okay, what I'm going to be doing now is measuring and cutting the ends. 3 of our beds are a different size than the other. Well, one of our beds is a different size than the other 3. So I'm going to be measuring these boards. I need 6 of one size and 2 of another. This is just going to be the ends, and I'm going to go ahead, measure those out and cut them, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing next. Okay, so because the boards are not the right length, we're going to have to splice the sides. So we're going to have to do 2 of them 9 5/8 and 6 of them 10 5/8, which of course your measurements may be completely different, or you may just get the long ones of these. We found it was cheaper to buy the 8-foot ones. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my 2, and I'm going to just use the measurements that are on the saw to cut them. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Okay, so now I've got these all cut to make the sides the right length. So the next thing I'm going to be showing you, is how I'm going to splice them together. Okay, I forgot to tell you that I have to use some of these to do the splices. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit it on here, and I'm just going to cut them in half with the saw. And that way I have 2, and they don't have to be perfectly, in half, just close enough. But I need 8 of those, so I'm going to go ahead and do these other 2. I've already got 1 done. And then I'm going to show you, every time I start saying that, he starts screaming. Then I'm going to show you how I'm going to splice the boards. Okay, so now I'm going to put together the boards for the sides. This is the piece that I cut. And this is the piece that's the splicing board. I'm going to put 2 screws on each end. So total of 4 screws, and then I'm going to cut the screws off. So I'm going to do that with all 8 and hope that I don't get it screwed to the table, which I probably will. Okay, I'm not strong enough to do all that, but he can use one hand, so I guess he's going to cut them off. Or I'm going to have to get out of the grinder. So, I'm going to do the other 7 of these boards. Okay, so we're gonna have to have some stakes to put to attach the existing part of the raised bed to the new part of the raised bed. So I'm going to take some more of these fencing posts, or whatever they're called, panels, the fencing panels, and I'm going to cut them to the size that they need to be. You cut them to whatever size you need them to be. I'm going to take this and cut them down, and then I'm going to split these with a different saw than this one, and I'll show you how I split them as well. But I'm going to go ahead and measure those and cut them. I'm not going to show cutting all of them, I'm just going to show cutting some of them. I live in a city where the chickens crow and the popo go. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we're going to split the pieces that we're going to be using for the little spikes to hold the two pieces together. I'll show you how we put that together too. I'm going to tell you right now, I hate the saw. I hate all saws, but this is just how it's going to have to be. This is set to where this will be split in half. Have a guard down. My husband, for some reason, thinks you don't always have to use that. I will argue with him to the day I die that you have to use a guard. This is a little Dumaflotcher he has made out of a limb. So, I'm going to get the split. And that's Chad. Okay, about halfway through, I think I figured out two things. One, how to use this thing, and two, I think I got some sawdust in my Dr. Pepper. Okay, so now I'm going to do something I don't want to do without the guard down. I've got to turn these into like little stakes, so I've got to cut that end off to make it kind of like a V or a spike, or you know, a vampire killer. One of those things. That's Chad again. So, I'm going to do this now. Okay, so now we moved over to the garden area, and we're going to put the, what would this be called? Extender on the top of this one. I'm probably going to only show you one bed because once you've seen one of them, you've seen all of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and start this one. And what we're going to do is put 2 to 3 screws in each end. So, I'm going to get started. Okay, so now we're going to use the stakes to go in on the side. And what we're going to do is after we get these in, we're going to put screws through, move that out of the way. Put screws through there so that it can go through the whole, so it can hold this on. So I'm going to put probably 3 on each long side and 2 on each short side. So I'm going to start. It was against the wall. So I'm going to start right here. I thought I had it against it. But we got to make sure that this stays where it's at. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take my grinder, my side grinder, And I'm gonna grind off these screws because they stick out and you don't want to be in there planting or whatever and get cut by a screw. So I'm gonna grind those off real quick and then I'll let you know what's next. Okay, because it's getting so dark, I'm probably gonna just end here. You'll see whenever we put the soil and everything in there. But before we do any soil, we're gonna get our magnet out that we used for metal detecting and find all of those little screw pieces because they are in there. And this is how, I mean, it's sturdy, it's not going anywhere, it's on there. And all we have to do is put our soil, compost, and all those things in there to plant. So we're gonna finish up all the rest of them, and the next time you see my garden will be after all of them are done, except I think I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna build one too. We'll see. We don't know if we're gonna have that video or not. That's Chad again. He's a very loud rooster. So anyway, that's all we have for today because it's getting late. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Let me know what you're planting in your garden this year. Let me know what you're doing to get prepared for your garden. And remember, don't take any wooden nickels and be sweet. Okay, we're gonna need some stakes to hold the top piece to the bottom piece that's already existing of the beds. So what we're gonna be doing is cutting sometimes I want to shoot a rooster. Sometimes I want to put him in a pot. To make more babies. If he does his job. Anyway. My nerves. My nerves. I ate some of the stuff.